is a Saturday morning, which can only mean one thing: what are you eating today? Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing super well and are enjoying the rare glimmer of sunshine that we're finally experiencing in the UK. I swear, I feel like since the end of August we've been in this eternal gloom of rain, cold, sleet. We've not even had any decent snow this year, which I'm feeling quite salty about, I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, welcome back. I hope you're all having the best weekend. So yeah, today's another Saturday morning. I've had a very basic breakfast today because the rest of my day is gonna be a little bit indulgent, I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling like some real, I'm due on my period, so I'm feeling quite bloated today. So I'm craving salt. I'm craving things that aren't that great for me. And part of me thought, well, is that going to be helpful? But I'm sure we all have days and times like these. So let me talk you through my day. This morning I got up and made myself a coffee. Very simple, nothing to write home about, just my M&S regular coffee, my ground coffee that I pop in my cafetiere. I had that with the banana, really basic, and something that I would normally have on an office day, if I'm honest, nothing too crazy. But for lunch and for dinner, this is where the magic is going to happen. So for lunch, I want grilled cheese. I want a grilled cheese sandwich, and I'm very excited about it. And I'm also fancying something quite tart and zingy, exciting. So I'm going to have a kimchi grilled cheese sandwich. So that's what we're going to be having for lunch. And then last night, Andrew and I had a bit of an at-home date night where we chose to do some baking together. And I made a lemon cake with two types of cream. There was a vanilla cream and a cremeur of a lemon cremeur, basically, or I don't know how you pronounce it, but basically it's like egg yolk cream with lemon and white chocolate and deliciousness and a lemon sponge, and you would basically put them on top of each other. And then I made a meringue and I blowtorched it and toasted the meringue, and I have not had a slice of that cake yet, but Andrew has, and he said it's one of the best cakes we've ever made together. And I'm so excited to have that as my afternoon snack. So as you can see, it's going to be a spenny day, and we haven't even got to dinner yet. And dinner is going to be no exception. So for the last few weeks, I've also been craving a Five Guys burger. And I love a Five Guys. I feel like there's definitely a time and a place for it when you're in a rush. But if you have the stuff in, you may as well make it yourself. It is so much cheaper. The ingredients are so much better. I'm going to do my take on a Five Guys burger, a smash burger. I've done these before, I've done them for friends, I've done them for family. It can be done so much better in line with calorie value by the time you've had a Five Guys. So we're going to be having those. I'm not sure if we're going to be having them with fries or what, but they're going to be the full works, guys. I'm going to do them with bacon. I'm going to do some crispy onions to go with them, and I'm excited. This is going to be a full-on fake away evening and day, so I hope you enjoy it. Before I go, I'll just talk you through my outfit really quickly. So I'm wearing these really simple, really lovely cut jeans actually. These are like in a grey wash, and they are from the brand Bershka. I really like them. I got them around Christmas time, and they're kind of like an ankle grazer, so they come to a really nice length. This top, you'll have seen it in my recent vlog, and it's from Monkey, and it's just a really simple long sleeve navy top, and I have it on with a pearl necklace, which I tend to kind of do this and then tuck it in, so it just looks like a bit of interest. I really like doing that. I do this for the office a lot, and I just think it's really flattering, especially on this kind of draped neckline. I really like it. Nails are Fiji, as they were last week. I'm really riding that Fiji wave at the moment just because I really love how it looks. I have this ring I've had for years. I still get questions about it because I wear it a lot. So I have my rings, my engagement ring, my Apple Watch, and these gorgeous little bracelets with the kids' names on them. So very basic outfit, but I can guarantee you by dinner time tonight I'll be in my joggers because that's what tends to happen. I start quite glam and I feel like, oh yeah, great, and then I go do my errands, I come in and I'm in my joggers. So anyway, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and let's get on with the day. It's now time for lunch, and I've got all of the components here. I have some mature lighter cheddar. This is just the Cathedral City that I always have. I am going to be mixing it with another type of cheese, which is what I always do when I'm having a grilled cheese sandwich, because number one, this adds a beautiful flavour, but it also adds a lovely stringiness to the cheese as well, and this is grey. I have some kimchi here, which is basically fermented cabbage. The butter that I'm using is the lighter butter, and I did not choose this bread. Andrew's just brought this back, and if I'm honest, it's not ideal for what I wanted. This is Aldi's Tiger Bloomer, and don't get me wrong, I'm sure this is delicious, and I'm pretty sure I've had many a bloomer from Aldi, but I really like my bread to kind of crisp up, and this is just quite thick. Like, it's pre-cut and the pieces are quite thick. So I would have preferred that if they were literally half the size, because it would make it really easy for them to crisp up. And I also have a feeling that in point value, these are going to be monstrous. One slice is 5 points. Get a serrated knife and see what I can do with this slice, although it's going to take a very, very light hand. If this doesn't work, I'm literally just going to have to get another slice and eat it. I mean, it's not the worst. What, that might work. That's not the worst. Like, that'll become 5 points if you are pointing, but I'm not pointing. But anyway, I still feel like that is going to taste so much better at that crispiness, at that kind of thickness, because again, it's going to crisp up. So anyway, I have my 2 types of cheese, which I need to point. I'll give you guys a point value. So I know that 30 grams of this is 3 points. I tend to use more cheddar than I do of the Gruyere. And I'm literally just gonna cut off the portion I would like, and that has made the cheese 47 grams worth of cheese. Now you have to remember that that's light cheese and 17 grams of it is full fat. As kimchi is a relative recent discovery for me, I have no idea what you'd be looking at for something like this on the app, so I'm gonna try and track it. It doesn't have it. Google it, you guys can see what you think it is. I'm gonna have it anyway, but basically it's this vibrant, beautiful burnt orange fermented cabbage that, I mean, it's pickled and it just looks incredible. And then we're gonna pop the lid on. I haven't buttered both sides, I've just buttered one side. I mentioned before I was craving saltiness, and I'm going to fill that with having some of these crisps. I love these crisps so much. They're the black truffle and olive oil crisps, and to give you guys a point value, which I have done this before, I've had them a ton of times on this channel. I don't go for many of them, if I'm honest. Like, I just like a bit of crunch. I do like to have some kind of crisps with my sandwich. Wow, the app is really struggling to find things quickly. I don't know if it's my reception, but anyway, it's searching away. I would not weigh these out, but in the interest of time, I'm not going to. But normally I have about 3 or 4 points worth. I really want to see the layer. Like, I'm all about layers recently, guys. But look at this. Look how delicious that kimchi looks. Like, I cannot, guys. It is so delicious. I know it doesn't look like much. It's not as aesthetically pleasing. But honestly, the taste of this is like a warm hug. It is delicious. So I'm going to use a spatula, actually, to get this on my plate. Just because I feel like I will make such a mess if not. But I am very much looking forward to eating this with a Coke Zero and my crisp. So I'm sat down with my sandwich, and that first bite of a grilled cheese and kimchi sandwich, like, there isn't much better. Like, look at that. Look at that colour, look at that glaze. Mmm. Mmm. Hot but so delicious, and that stringiness, that almost kind of cartoon-like cheese string that you just saw is the Gruyere, and it's flipping delicious. A few hours later now, and this is the cake I was talking about. Now you might be wondering, Natasha, half of that is gone from what we saw on Instagram, and you would be correct. Look at that layer. So you have 3 layers of lemon sponge with lemon cremeur, or whatever it's called, with the toasted meringue on top. I can't give you an accurate point value on this, guys, nor would I want to, because it would make you not want to eat it. I'm gonna have a small slice and live my best life, and for things like this I would definitely recommend using your weeklies, because look at her. I go completely mad. It's not that long till dinner time, guys. Like, seriously. It's probably not even a good idea to have this full stop, but I really want it. Look how gorgeous this looks. All right, it's now time to make dinner. I have to say, I am loving these lighter evenings. It just makes filming so much easier because I prefer to shoot in natural daylight. And I have some mincemeat here. This is a combination of 20% lamb fat mince, so it's quite fatty because it's got lamb mince. If you wanted this to be more kind of calorie conscious, I would opt for a 5% beef mince. I do have some 5% beef mince in here, and I would say that it's a 70-30 ratio. So 70% of it is the beef mince, and then I have 20%. No, I'm totally so. I have 70% of the 5% beef mince in here and 30% of the lamb mince. So it's not as bad as all that, but if you did want to make it calorie conscious, just use all 5% beef mince. Very, very simple mix. I'm going to take all of my rings off and everything because you are going to have to get your hands in and really kind of infuse these ingredients together. So I have some black pepper, some salt. I also use a bit of steak rub. I think this makes all the difference. I'm going to separate this and use the egg yolk for binding, a clove of garlic, and I'm going to very finely chop an onion and some parsley, and that is it. And I basically just layer them and then press them down onto the parchment, and then they become quite flat, and then I just transfer them to the oil and fry them out. And it's going to be delicious. I'm so excited. It's very simple. Again, it's kind of everything in one bowl, mix, and then make the patties. I am going to be using part of this onion for the meat mix, or the patty mix, and then I'm going to be using some of it to fry. So rings are off, and basically you just want to start to bring this together, and I do it quite gently at first because I want to make sure that everything just doesn't fly out of the bowl. Okay, so I have made the patties, and I used this sort of smashing device that I got from Amazon just to kind of make them into smash burgers. But as you can see, they are super, super thin, so they do not take hardly any time to fry up because they are so, so thin, and they crisp up and they go all lovely. And I'm just gonna, again, let these sit and really get to room temperature because I always like to cook my meat at room temp. And then we'll get them in the frying pan in a cast iron, and we'll fry them up in a bit of olive oil. But in the meantime, I need to think about the accompaniments. So we are going to have fries, but we're not going to make anything heavy or any wedges or anything like that. I get these all the time. They're such a fantastic quick fix, and as you can see, they're just very basic French fries that we just pop in the air fryer. And that's more just to have something on the side of my burger. To be honest, I'm not going to have a ton of French fries because that burger is going to be quite substantial for me. And I'm also going to put on some bacon, as I mentioned before. And I still need to fry off my little bit of onion. Andrew doesn't like fried onions for his burger, so that's why there's only a small amount. That's just for me. But I'm also going to whip up some burger sauce. And burger sauce is very simple, in my view anyway. I basically just mix Dijon mustard with mayo and ketchup. And I mix it together. It makes this kind of peachy type sauce, and I use that on my burger muffins, and it tastes delicious. And then my plan is to fry the burgers, pop the cheese on top, and then get the blowtorch out to melt the cheese. And it's going to be so, so good. I cannot wait. But for now, again, I'm going to let those get to temperature, and then when we're good and ready, we'll pop these in the air fryer. I can't say I've ever had these on WW, so for point value reference, I don't think these are going to be that substantial. I mean, maybe I'm going to be wrong, but these are quite thin French fries, so I can't see them being too $5 for half a pack. But this is a massive pack. You would never have half a packet of these. That's for 300 grams. Let me just check and make sure that's correct, because that seems very low for 300 grams. Yeah, that's ridiculous. So I would say half a pack is wrong on the app. Like, I wouldn't agree with that. I think if you were to have 100 grams or thereabouts, which is probably what I would have, that is 5 points, which seems very reasonable. Your patties, again, it's just the lamb mince you really need to, consider. They aren't the majority beef mince, as I mentioned before, when I couldn't get my maths right. So again, not too bad. Majority of the point value here will come from the chips, the cheese, the bacon, and the muffin. But again, I'll kind of give you a rough value, but use your app, guys, point accordingly. And if you don't want to have a muffin, sometimes what I used to do when I was pointing, I would get 2 really beautiful lettuce, like baby gem leaves, and I would actually use that instead of a muffin. It was delicious. So there are so many options, guys, and also, you know, some muffins are just better point value than others. Alright, so the burgers are just resting in foil, they're all cooked, so bacon's done, chips are done. I'm just about to make the burger sauce, which is equal parts of mayo and tomato ketchup, and a small amount of Dijon mustard. I literally use about that much, and I just mix it all together. And then you could add a little bit of gherkin in here as well if you have it. So good, and I feel like it's one of those circumstances where my eyes were bigger than my belly, because I only managed half of that burger, and yeah, I ate all the fries, but I literally could only manage one of the patties, so I ended up leaving one of them, and also half of the bun I also left. And I felt like there was a bit too much cheese on it because Andrew had cut it, and when I was blowing it I didn't really realise actually that's quite a lot of cheese for me, so I didn't end up eating the majority of that. So I would actually say that half of that burger I didn't actually eat, but it was delicious what I did eat, and the patty was insane, loved it. But I just, yeah, I feel like I just took on too much, and it just wasn't the portion that I'm normally used to. But it was delicious, and I would definitely recommend that burger recipe because it was chef's kiss. But that's it for me for today. I would definitely say that was quite a high calorie day, and most likely if I was tracking, it would be incredibly likely that I would have gone over on my points that day and had to have used some of Andrew's deodorant. I would have had to have used some of my weeklies to counter that. So I would say my only advice to you guys, if you're not on maintenance like myself, is to check things on the app, weigh things accordingly, and just be mindful of portion control. Again, if it's very unlikely that I would have made all of the choices that I made today if I was trying to lose weight. You know, this is very much a maintenance point of view for me, but also, you know, you do get quite a lot of weeklies on WW, so even if you are trying to lose weight, I feel like there are opportunities to have takeaways. There are occasions where you can have burgers and cake and fries and grilled cheese sandwiches in the same day. You just have to point accordingly, and then if you use some of your weeklies, you should still be able to lose weight at the same time. Just make sure that you're being more numerate and on top of things much more than I am. But anyway, I'm going to call it a day. So thank you so much for joining. The next one is going to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit more kind of less indulgent, I think, just because I couldn't handle it. Like, it was just too much for me, but it was delicious. In any event, I'm going to go. I hope you all enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you next Saturday for another video.